starting here, and if you don't know, I see some new to me, yay. If you don't know, if you miss the live broadcast, you can always catch the replay over on YouTube. It is simulcast, so if for some reason you can't get into Zoom, you can also always watch the live, although you won't be able to comment live, but you can always watch the live also on YouTube. And wouldn't be proper. Hey, Randy. Oh, that's what it is. I'm like, wait, I know that name. I didn't recognize the, okay, my brain is not working. The picture, the profile picture, there it is. I didn't recognize the profile picture. All right, I'm gonna get started here shortly, y'all. My brain is refusing to cooperate as it often does, but I think we're good. Okay, so we are live on YouTube. We've got people still slowly coming into the room, but let's get started. Hi, hello. My name is Valorie Lewis. I am a psychic medium, also a tarot and oracle card reader. And on Mondays, on Magical Mondays, we come together every week to do a card pull. And I'll go over the session outline pretty shortly here because it has changed a bit over the years. And I see some people who are new to me. So first we do a tarot and oracle card pull. We start off with messages from Spirit, letting messages come through to us from the cards. Then we move into one card pulls, random participants. I just let Spirit guide me towards who might need a one card tarot pull today. And then after we do all of that, we do a little energy activation. That is always channeled. I never know what we're going to activate energetically until we get into the card pull. And Spirit says, hey, might be good to work on this thing for the group. And so we spend about, it's really quick, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes at the end of the event, doing some energy work based on whatever theme comes up during today's reading. So that's the lowdown. That's the skinny. Hello, welcome everyone. I hope you are in good spirits. I had a very busy weekend and I am just hanging on. I'm just hanging on, y'all. I'm trying to get my energy back. Speaking of energy activation. So how's everybody else doing? Put it over in chat. I want to know how y'all are doing. I know being out in the world and socializing a bit more than I usually do. One thing is I was debriefing myself in my quiet time last night that I realized is, damn, the world is chaotic. I mean, if you've been hanging out with me recently, you know I've been saying that. That's not news to me. But being out and experiencing that in mass interactions, I was like, no, it's really chaotic. Like, I get it. I get it now. So I don't know. What else have you all been experiencing, navigating? Let's see, so much better than last week. Oh, good. Glad you're doing better. Just watching the chat over there as I pull cards. There it is. There's our last card. The deck we're pulling from is Brit's Third Eye Tarot. Let me go ahead and spotlight myself. This is an independent artist, I guess you would call it, for lack of a better word. I don't know. Creator. That's the word I'm looking for. Independent creator, independent deck. Did not come with a guidebook. Have not been able to find a guidebook. I think maybe they just created the deck and then didn't proceed to make the guidebook. The deck itself, though, I love it. I love it. So that's the deck we're pulling from today. We've got 4 tarot cards. Before I give the messages, I invite everyone to take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly. Just settle into the moment. If you've got questions, I hope you already put those questions out to the universe. And now we're going to switch over to glide into receiving mode. Receiving, receiving, receiving. How can I receive the guidance, support, answers? How can I allow the flow into my life? Because we cannot, some of y'all know this by heart, I say it so often, you cannot ask and receive in the same breath. They are 2 completely different vibrations. So if you've been asking, and then looking to Spirit and saying, where's my answer? Where's my answer? You're not answering me. You're very quiet. I don't hear you. Guess what? That's all asking mode. That's all asking mode. So can you move into receiving mode so that we can actually hear? First message, What's up with my screen? I think I must have a filter still on. One moment, I'm gonna fix it for you. Because y'all can't see the cards. There it is. That's better. Okay, our card we start out with the Queen of Wands. For those of y'all that know me and my affection for the Tarot Queens, the Queen of Wands, she is it for me. I strongly resonate with that energy. Wands, fire energy. Our queen today is coming from us. Interesting that Spirit led me to talk so much about the allowing and receiving mode, because divine feminine for me is the receiving mode. Divine masculine is the action mode. The what do I do with this information once I've received it? We all have divine feminine and divine masculine within us. When we get the Queen of Wands as opposed to the King of Wands, that's usually a message from Spirit saying, are you listening? Are you allowing? Are you receiving? Or are you rushing into the doing? Or maybe you're doing neither. Maybe you're not in divine masculine or feminine and they're all over the place. So this is Spirit's direction to us in this moment is, how can we move into divine feminine energy and also Wands energy? Got you. I saw that. Jacqueline. Jacqueline's my co-host, y'all. I just got a message behind the scenes. All right. So Queen of Wands, moving into divine feminine, receiving energy. Receiving what, Spirit? Wands. Wands is that fire energy, and Wands speaks to inspiration, creativity. It's also talked about as being action in action. So the Queen of Wands and any of the Wands actually have twofold messages. Because of their fire energy, they're also associated with being in action. The fire energy is called action in action or fire in action. So anytime you pull a Wands, it's asking you to, yes, pay attention to the message of the card, but also is there an action, an inspired action attached to the message of the card that you can take action on, because it's Wands energy. So her message is, how can we allow, receive, Wands? What are we receiving? We're receiving inspiration. We're receiving creativity. We're receiving the inspired action instructions so that we know how to proceed into this week. The thing I would say is, if you are asking for support or asking for solution or clarity, the message that I'm getting from this card is allow it to come through inspiration and creativity. And when I get that message, the underlying understanding is that means your answer is going to look different than the answer you've been looking for. If you have been asking the question, what's 2 plus 2? What's 2 plus 2? And in the back of your mind, you're looking for a 4. You're looking out in the world for a 4 because you kind of know 2 plus 2 is close to 4. You're not going to see any other answer to that question because you're focused on reticular activating system. I had a wonderful talk with my friend Tim about reticular activating system, because you have told your brain, this is what I'm expecting. And when you look out into the world, only what you're expecting is going to come back to you. The Queen of Wands shows up to say, can you allow inspiration and creativity, which means, can you drop those blinders and allow something different than what you are expecting? Something that might inspire you, delight you, something that's a little bit more creative than what you were expecting, an answer that comes through a different channel, an answer to your question about clarity, support, guidance, help me get out of this situation. Okay, drop those blinders. I've got all of these solutions available for you, but you're focused on what you're expecting to see or what you've been asking for specifically. And this is saying, can you receive a different answer? Can you receive something a bit more creative, a bit off the beaten path, something a little outside of the box, inspiring? Can you receive a different answer? And then once you receive that inspiration, that creativity, can you think of it in a different way? So now I've got this idea that feels a little bit different than what I'm used to. You're holding that idea. And now as you prepare to analyze, think about, understand, comprehend this idea, the next question is, can you think about it in a different way than the way that you usually think about it? Queen of Swords, still divine feminine, so we're still allowing. It's like these two queens are hanging out together this week towards the beginning of our week, and they're having a conversation. And the conversation goes like this. I got this crazy new idea. It had to be divinely inspired. Let me share it with you. They're having tea. Let's say they're having tea. Oh, great. I love new ideas. Tell me it. And so the Queen of Wands says all of the things that she just got divinely downloaded. And the Queen of Swords says, usually I think about it this way, but I'm being inspired to think about it this new, fresh way, through this new lens, through a new perspective. Queen of Swords. Swords is air energy, and it's our thoughts and our communication. So Wands is getting these crazy ideas, and Swords is saying, that's amazing. If you find yourself saying, I never thought of it that way, that's Queen of Swords energy. Anytime you've caught yourself saying that, could be the same idea, the same concept, but somebody says it just slightly differently. You read a book, you watch a movie, and it explains something just slightly differently. And you say to yourself, I never thought about it that way. That is Queen of Swords energy all over the place. So I know we've all experienced those moments. Spirit is saying to us this week, you may or may not experience those more, but you will experience it at least once or twice this week. And when you say to yourself, oh, I never thought of it that way, grab that thought and run with that thought. Because however you are thinking of it in a new way, that is the Queen of Swords coming in to aid you to carry it all the way through so that you can get to your solution, your support, your answer, whatever it is that you're seeking. So both of these queens, that's pretty fucking powerful. To start out a week with both of these queens side by side, definitely receiving, allowing, but different in different ways. Receiving the inspiration and then receiving a new perspective, a new way of looking at it. Okay, that I'm feeling is towards the beginning of the week, Monday through Wednesday. Maybe Thursday for some of us we have to get up to speed into the receiving mode first. It might take us Monday, Tuesday to get to the receiving mode, and then Wednesday, Thursday to get the messages. But I'm getting first part of the week, Monday through Wednesday, where we're in receiving mode. We're receiving, we're just allowing. Then what, Valorie? Then what do we do with all of those? The Emperor. Fucking love it. Major arcana, going to affect all areas of our life. And then we get into divine masculine energy. So now we've received. Now we're going to move into the what we do about it. And damn, boy, what we do about it is big. We got the Emperor. We didn't get a king or a knight or some other form of divine masculine from one of the minor arcana. We got the Emperor. And the Emperor is considered one of the father figures to the full, and the full being each one of us as we move along our spiritual path. This one is grounded in earth energy. Look at those roots. Allow the information, the guidance, the intuition that flows to us through the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. Plant that. Don't discard it. Don't hold those ideas for just a little while and then put them on the back burner and say you'll get back to them later. Plant it. Planting it means take the lowest minimal action that you can towards moving in alignment with whatever messages you receive. That's taking a seed and planting it by taking the lowest minimal action that you can. Now, some of you are going to be inspired to take much more action than that. That's great. But I invite you all to at least the very minimum, bare minimum, take the lowest minimal action that you can on whatever insights come to you through that queen energy. Plant them in the ground and allow them to take roots. The Emperor action is asking you to not discard whatever comes to you this week, to plant it. If you can, just plant it. If you can do more, move more. Do more of the inspired action that comes to you. But whatever you do with those insights, you need to bring it into physical reality in some way. That's why I'm suggesting lowest minimal action. That's how we bring it into our reality. Because the Emperor is all about this physically manifested world. Not living in our brain, not living in our belief system, not working on shadow work, but actually doing something here in this physical world. Is it a conversation? Is it an email? Is it reading a book? What can you do in this physical world that's going to move the inspiration, the ideas, the concepts, the perceptions that you've had, that's going to move it into this physical reality? That's what the Emperor is helping us do. It's helping it take us out of the woo-woo world and put it into our actually physically manifested world so that we have something tangible to work with. Something tangible to work with. And then what's our job, Spirit? Eight of Pentacles. Work with it. That's what your job is. Plant it. Trust it. The Emperor has no lack of trust. Plant it. Bring it into the tangible world. And then the Eight of Pentacles. Pentacles is still earth energy. Pentacles is still something tangible that we can work with. And Pentacles represents those things that we hold as valuable. So you better fucking believe if I get a message from Spirit at the beginning of the week that comes through a channel of divine inspiration, that I'm going to hold that as sacred or valuable. So by the end of the week, what am I doing with that? Now that I've already planted the seed, that I've brought it into my tangible reality some kind of way, the Eight of Pentacles means I'm still going to be working with that idea or that action, and I'm going to be refining it. The Eight of Pentacles is about refining something. The idea is that this person is blacksmith. I believe those are the ones that work with iron and chisel it. And all of those pentacles, to me, look very similar. There's nothing wrong with any of those pentacles. She's not a perfectionist in the sense that she's not critiquing herself negatively, but she is so in love with her craft that she enjoys refining it, and she enjoys continuing to work on it. When she looks at her work, she says, oh my God, that last pinnacle I made is so beautiful. It's just so, I wonder what would happen if I engraved a pattern on it instead of just leaving the face of it straight and chiseled. So she's not critiquing it in a bad way, like, oh, look at that, and I didn't get that angle right. She's critiquing it in a, I love this thing that I've made so much. How can I make it more beautiful? How can I add more to it? How can I create more of this in a way that is even more and more pleasing to me? That's the Eight of Pentacles. It's continual refinement on something that brings us joy. It's not critique and perfectionism. It's, I bet I could do this better. Oh my God, I bet I could make it prettier. Oh, I bet I could, whatever it is, I bet I could improve upon this. And the improvement brings me joy, not self-criticism. So ask yourself in your life, where do you feel that way about your work? Where do you feel that way about your creations, about something you may have said, something you may have done out in the world? Maybe it's a good deed that you really like doing. Have you ever sat and thought to yourself, how can I do that even better? Or how can I get other people to do this? That's a Eight of Pentacles moment. Or I just created this piece of work, this piece of art. How can I make it even more pretty? Oh, I bet I could add a beautiful frame to it. That's Eight of Pentacles thinking. So how can you improve upon, in a joyous way, keywords, something that brings you joy? How can you improve upon it even more? Not doing it in a self-critical way. So those are our messages from the tarot. Let me check chat just real quick, see if I missed anything. Ooh, I like that. Got people pushing through the chaos. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's move on. Now we're going to move into oracle cards. And since we had both of those queens at the beginning, I'm going to stick with that divine feminine energy since that's the beginning of our week. And we're going to ask Spirit, is there anything else that can help us shift into allowing and receiving mode from goddesses and sirens? Is there anything else we need to know about this? Oh, it's like all the cards want to talk. Let me shuffle and ask again. Is there anything else we need to know about receiving? About the receiving mode, divine feminine energy. I swear, I feel like I could pull any of these goddesses and they would all have a message for me. So let's go with this one. Interesting pull. Mayat, I never know how to say her name with the double A's. Mayat and Justice. Justice is what this goddess is about. Maybe it tells me in the book how to say her name. Does not, but I will read the italicized portion, which is like key phrases. Justice will be done for the good of all. Take responsibility for your actions. The chaos in your life will end. Okay, now I know why I pulled this card. How apropos. The chaos in your life will end. Natural order will be restored. All right, now I really want to know what her message is, because I thought she was going to be with the justice. I thought she was going to be about legal matters or bringing back equality. She said, the chaos in your life will end. How many received that with the big old hallelujah? All right. In the ancient Egyptian view of the world, the goddess Ma'at brought law to chaos. She created and judged every natural law in the universe, making her one of the most powerful deities. Created the natural laws, created and judged. Huh. Okay, and then it gives you her whole story, her ancient story. But let me get to her message. Allow Ma'at to create order and justice in your life. She is an excellent listener and brings an energy of great clarity. If you are dealing with rules being made or broken and punishments carried out, you should pay special homage to Ma'at. If you are involved in anything legal, offer a prayer to her. Even if you are simply dealing with authority figures, peers, or family, Ma'at can ensure your treatment is fair. Interesting. Let's see. I'm just seeing if there's anything else we need to know about her. Invocation, there's some candle magic you can do. No, the only message I'm getting from this deity is, first, if you find her message interesting, do some additional research on your own. Egyptian goddess, M-A-A-T. I do believe it's actually spelled with an apostrophe. If you're trying to Google it or look it up. The name of the oracle deck is Goddesses and Sirens. And then also, as far as any additional messages that I'm receiving from Spirit, is the message of bringing order to chaos. As I feel into that more, I know the message I read from the guidebook said something along the lines of an end to chaos soon. As I feel into that message of bringing order to chaos, I heard Spirit in my ear say, that doesn't mean we're taking chaos away from you all. So let's tweak the message. I read the message directly from the guidebook, and then I'm hearing an expanded message from Spirit. So what Spirit wants us to know is they want us to focus on the bringing order to chaos phrase and not an end to chaos. Bringing order to chaos means there may still be chaos swarming around you. There is probably still going to be chaos around you within your circles, within community as a whole. That's not going to dissipate, but you are going to be able to bring order to it. You're going to be able to navigate it. You're going to be able to understand certain facets of it and understand, this is full on channeled, and understand more fully why it needs to be chaotic right now. But you're going to be able to bring order to it. And what Spirit is showing me is someone in a scientific lab, and there's experiments going on all around, and it feels really chaotic because things are not labeled. He's not sure which lab assistant is working on which project. There's some cross contaminations. There's just bottles everywhere. There's chaos in this lab. And then he's showing this person coming in and organizing it, making sure every lab assistant is focused on their project, that everything is labeled properly, and that there's things going on and separated. And now there's order within this lab. But also this person who's bringing order is looking at some of the scientific experiments in mid-experiment and realizing that whatever's going on in that beaker that looks like it's about to explode needs to keep going on because that's part of the experiment. So even though there's order now in this lab, there's still chaos that exists, but this individual is able to look at certain forms of chaos and understand that needs to continue. It needs to keep going until it gets to its natural process because that's part of the process. So that Spirit is telling us all that we are the person in charge of organizing our labs right now, and that we are also the person in charge of using discernment in whatever is going on in our personal chemistry lab to understand which projects need to be separated, organized, and which ones need to be just let to continue to be chaotic because it's a process. Which ones need our organization, but do not need us to put a finality to us. The chaos needs to continue. We just need to understand it better and know why it's there and what its overall function is. So that was the expanded message. All right, Spirit. So we got our chaos. We got our messages from you. We know that we're going to organize, not necessarily remove all of the chaos. Feeling better about all of that. The next deck I'm going to is a deck I'm directed to, and I'm kind of spending some time asking Spirit, what is this going to answer for us? Or I'm not getting I don't know what it's going to answer for us. The deck I'm going to is 22 Archangels, though. And Spirit was like, just pull the card, just pull the card. So just pull the card. I don't know what we're answering here. Michael, but we got the Archangel, Michael, spiritual acceleration. You are experiencing spiritual upgrades. Move forward. Michael, you are experiencing spiritual upgrades. Move forward. Spiritual acceleration is what's on his card. What else do we need to know from Michael? Michael, he who is like God, is considered to be the Prince of Light, the chief of the angelic realm. He is a powerful force who has been venerated as a saint and is known as the protector of those working in services, such as the police, the special forces, and the fire brigade. Often portrayed carrying a sword or a spear, Michael is also the presence we can invoke whenever we are feeling fearful or constrained. He will cut through the ties of fear and liberate us. Interesting, cut through the ties of fear and liberate us. I like that phrase because we're going into July, and July is going to be all about freedom. And now that I've been on my spiritual journey, I think this started last year, and so this might be my second year, is I've started asking myself when freedom is the chant, when freedom is seen everywhere on the billboards, on the posters, on the sales ad, I ask myself, what do I need to free myself from this year? Freedom from what? So I try to give it a spiritual twist as we go into, if you're in the States, as we go into the celebration of our freedom. How are you celebrating your individual freedom, and what are you freeing yourself from? So that we have Michael coming in saying he will cut through the ties of fear and liberate us. Maybe you need freedom from fear. Maybe he's showing up to help you with that. All the roadblocks you have been facing are tumbling down. Angels are giving you the go-ahead. Now is the time. Move forward in the knowledge that the divine is opening the way to experiences, opportunities, and connections that will help you live with purpose and live on purpose. With all that's happening, it's important to stay rooted in your spiritual practice and connection with the divine, because this loving presence is the reason you are who you are today. In the speed of it all, take the time to pause, reflect, and be grateful for where you are today. This energy of acceleration will not only catapult you into opportunities and experiences that will carry you towards success and achievement, but also take you beyond some of the people and places you once felt at home with. There's a good chance that some people will feel left behind or unseen. So be aware that they will require tenderness and consideration. The ultimate key to growth is never to forget who you really are and where you have come from as you go further and reach higher. Beautiful message from the cards. That's Kyle Gray's deck, the 22 Archangels, and that was the card Michael. Now I know why Spirit was like, just read the card. Okay. What do you need freedom from? Where are we at? Spirit, what other messages need to come through for us? Message from the card of the universe has your back. And the other message that I heard as I reached for that deck, the reason why I reached for this deck is the understanding that Spirit wants us to know it is with us this week. It feels like there might be, it feels like there's an energy of either now or future facing where we're going to feel as if, I'm getting the word misinformation and I'm also getting the word abandoned. We're going to feel as if maybe Spirit told us to do something and we did it and it didn't work out, and we think, why would Spirit tell me that? I'm certain that that message was from Spirit. Why would it tell me that if these are the disastrous results? Misinformation is what I'm feeling there. There's going to be a feeling of, I know I got this message, I know I triple checked it, and as soon as I act on it, it didn't feel like this is what it's supposed to be. And it's going to feel like misinformation. Like, why the hell would Spirit lead me down this road? Misinformation is the first thing I'm feeling. And then I forgot the other word already. Abandonment. Like when we call out to Spirit, we're not getting an answer. So if you feel like you received misinformation or like you're abandoned, like, why isn't Spirit answering me? This is crunch hour. This is go time. This is when I need Spirit to pick up the phone. Where are they at? Are they on lunch break? If you get any of those feelings this month, this week, here's the messages for it. And I haven't turned over the cards yet. I've been asking Spirit, why am I going to this deck? So the universe has your deck. The universe has your deck. The universe has your back. I honor how I want to feel. And let's see if I can get that in focus. I always trust the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. I honor how I want to feel. The misinformation and the abandonment. I honor how I want to feel. Yes, spend some time honoring how you are feeling. Don't spiritual bypass. Go ahead if you're feeling your feels and you feel abandoned or you feel like someone lied to you and gave you misinformation. Go ahead and honor that. But I invite you to honor that for 60 seconds or less. And then I want you to honor how you want to feel. Do you want to feel supported instead of abandoned? Do you want to feel loved instead of discarded? Do you want to feel clarity instead of feeling like someone has given you misinformation? Okay, honor how you want to feel this week is going to bring you back to center no matter what you're feeling. Honor how you're feeling for 60 seconds or less. Don't spiritually bypass it. And then ask yourself, okay, how do I want to feel? In this moment of feeling really, really tired, do I want to feel energetic? In this moment of feeling blah, meh, do I want to feel like how you want to feel regardless of the circumstances? We often let our circumstances dictate how we're feeling. And then our circumstances have no choice but continually showing up to match how we're feeling. And so if our circumstances have any control over how we're feeling, sorry, you're fucked. No, there's a way out of it. You have to change how you're feeling. Because if your circumstances say, I look at my bank account and it's overdrawn and I feel some type of way, guess what? Your bank account is going to look at how you're feeling and say, oh, I know what the match for that is. And nothing really has a chance to change until you decide that you want it to change. I don't like that message, Spirit. I've been working for a long time to get this stuff to change. And Spirit's like, yep. And for a long time, you've been letting your circumstances dictate how you feel. And now I'm giving you the key to help break the cycle. Is it an instant break it as soon as I get this? Is this a golden key that's going to change it? No. But it's going to help you break that cycle. And the more you can break that thought pattern cycle, the more you can shift away from it slowly and gradually. How do I do that? I honor how I want to feel. And then the part about if you feel like maybe you're abandoned or I'm not sure I got that message right or I don't know what to do next, this other message is I always trust the direction of the universe and know I'm being guided. Okay, that first one might be a hard pill to swallow for some of you. It's a hard pill to swallow for me. Always trust the direction of the universe? No. Do I majority of the time trust the direction of the universe? Yeah, I can say that. So make it sound truthful for you. Or I'm working on always trusting, if maybe that's where you are. But then the last part, and I know I'm being guided, I invite you to really feel into that part. Because maybe you're not always trusting the direction, but maybe you can always know that you're being guided. I know that what does that look like? What do you mean I can't trust, but I can do it looks like this. When you get into your car and you set that GPS to take you somewhere you've never been before, I always trust the direction of my GPS. I don't know if I can say that because my GPS is technological and my GPS doesn't know where I'm going either, not all the time. I don't know if I can always, I mostly trust it. Yeah, I can mostly trust. This is what it looks like in real terms. I can mostly trust it. What about and know I'm being guided? I can mostly trust that my GPS will get me most of the way there. I know Spirit is not going to let me get lost, even if my GPS craps up. That's what that feels like in real terms. It feels like even if all of my tools drop away and I'm not quite sure, my card pulls aren't making sense. I got a psychic reading and that sounded like it directly contradicted the message I got during my dreams. I'm not sure I can trust the direction because I got all these different inputs. I'm trying to always trust the direction. I'm not sure. But in real world scenarios, when you say, but I know I'm always being guided, that means all of these modalities and messages and downloads and things I'm watching on YouTube, all of that can fall away. And in my heart, I know Spirit's not going to leave me. I know I've done too much work. I know somewhere out there is the answer, and I know I'm being guided to it. That's what that feels like. It feels like that internal, if everything drops away, there's still one thing I can trust. I can trust that Spirit's got my back. The universe has got my back. God's got my back, whatever that is for you. Do you have that trust? You all had it at one time. Spirit just told me that. So, how can I get back to that trust so that no matter what my life looks like, I know I'm being guided? That's the question for this week. All right. Oh, just pop my nails. Now we're going to move into a few individual readings. I'm going to pause for just a minute because I need to find a link. One moment. Please go ahead and put it in chat. Pick me if you would like to receive an individual reading. And then also if you have a question that you would like to share in chat so that your individual reading perhaps answers that question. If we can, we'll go ahead and try that as well. Give me just a moment to find this link. Might not have it, Jacqueline. One moment. I can't find it off the top of my head. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get back. Emily, you were showing up first for me and I don't see a specific question. So let's go ahead and just do a one card pull for Emily. What does Emily need to know in this moment about her path forward for this week? Shuffle, shuffle. What does Emily need to know? Emily, Page of Wands. I see celebration in this photo. And I'm hearing celebrate, dancing. There's something in your life it doesn't seem like you're celebrating. And it could be as little as not celebrating life itself, or it could be a bigger something actually happened and you didn't get a chance to fully acknowledge it. Spirit wants you to take time to acknowledge that and celebrate it this week. So celebration is the first message. And then the other message is heroically, the Page of Wands. The page is about receiving a message or delivering a message. And we already talked at length about what that Wands energy was about. Inspiration, creativity, fire energy. Page of Wands, how can you allow yourself to receive that message and then celebrate? Celebrating yourself. Is there any other thing we need to know about this Page of Wands? These are the keywords: explosive creativity and infectious enthusiasm, ideas aplenty, creative beginnings, a newfound inspiration, honing a new skill or passion, curiosity and trying new things, gifting yourself permission to dream, great energy for creative ideation and brainstorming, and a youthful spark. Giving yourself permission to dream and a youthful spark stood out specifically for you, Emily, but I do believe all of those messages week, $22 specials being unveiled on Mondays. The $22 special for this Monday is going to be the same as it was for last Monday. So I'm just going to extend it for another week. That is partially because I want to give more time for that special to run. And also mostly because I had a super busy weekend and didn't get around to creating a new special in time. So you get the advantage of having that special for another week. And that special is let me try to remember it, 7 to 10. I believe it's a 7 to 10 minutes, or maybe it's a 5 to 8 minute. Anyway, it's a recorded reading. So I will sit with your energy. I will pull a couple of cards and I will give you a recorded and channeled message. And then it'll just be sent to you by email. I believe it was for 10 minutes.
I put it in chat, 7 to 10 minutes.
I thought it was 7 to 10. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did 10. 7 to 10 minutes recorded reading. If you are like, man, that seems like a short time, I invite you to set a timer for 10 minutes and see how long 10 minutes really is. I can deliver so much information in 10 minutes. And as a recording, you also get a chance to revisit that time and time again. I'm also throwing in some other bonuses with that. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Did I say who I was reading for next? I'm reading the message and I don't think I said Pooja. I see your message over in chat. King of Cups. Trying to trust the process, not sure what direction I could work on for things to get unfolded for me. King of Cups. Quick messages. I feel like at some point along your path, this happens to women a lot, but at some point along this path, someone said something about, don't be so emotional in relation to making business decisions or choosing something. And here's the thing, within your emotion also lies your passion and your fire to do things. And oftentimes we repress our emotions because our emotions are out of control and we want to jump on every new thing. And we know we don't have time to jump on every new thing. So we say, no, wait. And we push those emotions down and we push that direction down and we focus on what is logical, what is going to make me money, what makes business sense, what have I been trained, what have all the other people who are successful in this field, what are they doing? And we get real analytical and we get real focused on the what do I need to do right now in the moment. And we forget to incorporate the what makes me feel alive, what makes me feel passionate. I feel like you're still doing that just because your business is metaphysically themed. So it's like those two are kind of always tied together. In order to bring things back into focus, you have the King of Cups, which is saying you need more emotion right now. But look at where you're approaching it. Wherever emotion used to come into your business and wreak havoc on your business, I had that too. There's a doorway still that has been sealed and bricked over, because if emotion comes in through that doorway, it wreaks havoc on my business. But I have other doorways that emotion can come in and sit down at the table and inform me, and everything works delightful. King of Cups is that idea. King of Cups is you are now in a different place and you have mastery over your emotions. And you can invite those emotions in through different ways where they're actually going to inform you and help you move your business forward. Cups is also, it's water energy, so it's emotions, it's also intuition. There's also a voice in your head saying, do it this way, and that is in direct opposition to the business teachings but this is not what this practice is saying I'm supposed to do it. This is how I'm supposed to do it, but I keep getting this voice say, or you could try dancing in a tutu. And it's like, no, tutus and yogas don't go together. That's the internal battle, and that's what kind of has you stalemated. So how can you listen to your intuition and your emotions and let them sit at the table and inform your step forward is the task for this week. Who else do I want to go with? There's a lot of you. Message. Charlie, I'm going to, when I read your question, I was immediately told Mayat has a message for you. The message from the card that we read about justice and balance seems like it would apply here, or it feels as if that goddess's energy can help you with the answer to that question. So I'm going to refer you there because I know you, Charlie. I'm also going to take a picture of the full reading from that card and send it to you. Nicole, Queen of Pentacles is your answer. You are very skilled tarot reader, and I saw you nodding as soon as I turned that card over, so I think you already have an intuitive answer for what that means. The other answer that I'm going to give you is, does it look like she has any of the concerns that you have about that question? Nope. Why? Because she can have anybody she wants anytime she wants. And that's the energy you need to make the decision from, is what I'm hearing. Don't make a decision from fear or any other vibration other than that Queen of Pentacles. So get yourself into that Queen of Pentacles energy, and I know you know how to do that, and then ask those questions. And if you ask a question and the answer that is coming back feels like doubt or feels like I don't know, that is your clue that you are not in Queen of Pentacles energy yet. You want to be as sublime as that chick was on the face of that card. And I know you have that deck. So pull that out. And if you ask a question and the answer that comes back still feels like I don't know or doubt, you're not in that energy yet. Hold that card to your heart and ask yourself to fully step into that energy. And when you ask the question again and a confident answer comes back, then you know you got it. Even if that answer doesn't sound like the answer that your heart was looking for, you know that's the answer when it feels confident. All right, where are we at on time? We still got time for a couple more. Tina. King of Swords. King of Swords means there's an action. This is in relation to what Tina has asked. There's an action that you could be taking that you've almost overthunk, but not quite overthinking. There's an action that you could be taking that you haven't taken yet. King, Divine Masculine, is asking us to take action. Swords is our thoughts, our communication. Is there a conversation or, sometimes we get this Divine Masculine. Okay, in question, it's full on coming to me now. Dang, Tina. Hold on, Spirit. I only got a minute to deliver these messages. Okay. Question about dating relationship in the near future. And then I pull the King of Swords for someone who is presenting female. I hope you're female identified, Tina, here in the physical. When I get this card, this is saying it is time for you to move into divine masculine. And often when I get this card about dating for women, it's king is action, swords is communication, and also our thought processes. And sometimes this comes up when we as women are sitting back wanting the man to make the first move. Meanwhile, whoever our love interest is unaware. And they need us to take some initiative move to flirt, to say, hey, would you like coffee? To speak up in a way that makes it obvious that we are interested. So if you don't have anyone set in your sights, then you still need to get out into the world and let the world know that you're looking. If you do have someone that you're interested in, that's a sign that says, maybe you need to make the first move. Maybe it's not obvious to this person because maybe they're swept up in all the chaos of the universe too, and they're missing some of the hints and the signs. So maybe you need to be more clear in your communication towards the world or towards this individual. King of Swords. All right. Do we have time for one more? I'm gonna do one more. Thank you, everyone. I'm seeing that a lot of you have to leave a little bit early. All right. Who's the last person, Spirit? Bonnie. Did I pull for Bonnie already? I don't think so. I think we did Nicole. Bonnie. The motherfucking sun. Ooh, ooh, I love it. That's for Bonnie, but that's also for the whole group because I love this card. The motherfucking sun is how I read it because it's the most positive in the entire tarot. Bonnie, that's all I'm getting for you. That is so interesting. Let the sun, oh, no, there's more. You have been trying to allow the sun into your life, allow the sun to shine on you, allowing that light. And Spirit is saying to you, Bonnie, it's time to be the motherfucking sun. It's time for you to yeah, that's a great start. If that's been you dancing in the sunlight, allowing that God energy to flow down around you, into you, that's great. Now, Spirit is saying in this moment, I need you to be the motherfucking sun. I need you to radiate from your soul center out into the world. So that's just a very positive message. Whatever you've been doing, Bonnie, keep doing more of that and see if you can step into the embodiment and the integration of that. Instead of that outside energy of feeling like it's coming to you, can you instead shift to say, I am that. I am that. I've allowed enough of that sun to pour into me that now I can be the sun. It's kind of like made in his image. I've been walking with my God for so long that now I can confidently call myself a God, not the God, not to be sacrilegious, but I can confidently call myself a God. And now I can be the human representation of that energy here on earth. I don't have to work with it. I can be it is the shift that Spirit is asking you to take. So there we go, Bonnie, for you and also for the whole crowd, the motherfucking sun. How can we shine more brightly in our life? Activation time. Let's wrap up with a very quick energy activation. And this is about that sun card. Okay, so I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath in and a slow exhale. And I want you to imagine in front of you a scene from space. Maybe it's your favorite Star Trek episode. Maybe it's a picture from the Hubble telescope. Imagine stars and galaxies, planets. You're just in space. And maybe you're focusing on the darkness all around. It's a black backdrop for most of us when we picture space, and you see the stars. And you see a star that's twinkling a little bit brighter than the rest. And so you float over to that. You fly over to that. you get closer and closer. And as you get closer and closer, you realize that star is a huge sun. And you get a little bit closer and you realize that there's planets and a few other stars, all kind of circling and orbiting this large sun. And what you notice is that the sun is just being a fucking sun. It's not managing the planets. It's not orchestrating the path of the stars in its solar system. It's just there. The planets have a gravitational pull towards the sun, and the planets are doing what planets do. And sometimes they orbit on the same path, and sometimes they get a little off track. But then that gravity pulls them back and they straighten themselves out. Sometimes there's comets going around crashing into other things. But none of that is under control by you. You're not micromanaging the paths. You're not burning comets that get too close to other things. You're not doing anything except being the motherfucking sun. And everything is orbiting and taking its own course in the universe, and none of that is your responsibility. Your responsibility is to be the sun. Be yourself. Shine and radiate. Watch the planets if you want. Experience them. Take notice of them. Appreciate their beauty. Be grateful that they chose to radiate around you. But there is nothing you need to do about all of that. All of your focus is on yourself. I am the sun. I am warmth. I am light. I am magnetic. I am the center of my universe. And the only thing I need to do is be the sun. Take a deep breath in and a slow exhale, and open your eyes and come back to the room. And thank you all so much. And I think I need to listen to that last part myself and remind myself, all of you, be the motherfucking sun. There's room in the universe for multiple suns. All right. I love you all. I hope these messages resonated with you, and I will see you back here next week. Thanks, everyone.